प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं यं गुरुं हि स्वयं सत्यः प्रज्ञा भक्तिविनीतयः विहिक्तिश्चापि व्रता नित्यं तं गुरुं प्रणमाम्यहं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। You are in verse 25, right? So let us start from 20. Yoniya, oh sorry. Omityedayam padam shrutiganaha brute samastastapassomodah pratipattaye bhavati va tadbrahmacharyam buddhaha कामेनास्य चरन्त्यतः परमिदं ब्रह्माक्षरं चापरं श्रेष्ठालम्बनमेतदेत्यभजते विद्वान् पुरं ब्रह्मणः। धर्माधर्मकृता कृता यास्यत् पदार्थेतरः नोत्पन्नो न मृतोऽक्षरो न जनकः जन्यो न नित्यो ध्रुवः। आत्मासौ निहते वपुष्य निहतो कर्ता पुराणः पुमान् हन्तारं च हतं येन मयते मूढः स देहात्मदृक्। योनीयाननुतो महांश्च महतः जन्तोर्गुहायां स्थितः निष्कामो यतिधात्वनुग्रहवशात् यं शोकनाशं ततः। आसीनो विसुदूरमेति च शयन् यः सर्वतो यात्यहो कस्तं वेत्तुमदामदं रविसुतात् देवं परोर्वाप्तनः। तिष्ठन्तं स्तनवस्थितासु तनुषु स्वात्मानमेकं विभुं यो देहं च महान्तमेति कुशलः सोऽयं न शोचत्यपि। नो लभ्यः प्रवचोभिरेष पुरुषः नो मेधया न श्रुतैः आत्मप्रार्थनया समाधिसहितज्ञानेन लभ्यः पुनः। यो शान्तो न समाहितो न विरतः दुष्कर्मणो शान्तहृत् नात्मार्थी न परात्मवित् स पुरुषं जानातु तं वा कथम्। सर्वं यस्य जगत्प्रलयात्यशनतान् ब्रह्मेन्द्ररुद्रादिकम् संवाहन्तं च ततोपसेचनपदम् मृत्युश्च यस्याञ्चति। I'll say it and repeat next time. देहेऽस्मिन् परमं नभः परपदम्
देहेऽस्मिन् परमं नभः परपदम् देहेऽस्मिन् परमं नभः परपदम्
बुद्धिं प्रविश्य स्थितौ
बुद्धिं प्रविश्य स्थितौ बुद्धिं प्रविश्य स्थितौ
गूढौ द्वौ पुरुषौ परस्परपरौ
गूढौ द्वौ पुरुषौ परस्परपरौ गूढौ द्वौ पुरुषौ परस्परपरौ
छायाप्रकाशाविव
छायाप्रकाशाविव छायाप्रकाशाविव
एकस्तत्र फलं कृतस्य मधुरम्
एकस्तत्र फलं कृतस्य मधुरम् एकस्तत्र फलं कृतस्य मधुरम्
भुङ्क्ते परः पश्यति
भुङ्क्ते परः पश्यति भुङ्क्ते परः पश्यति
ब्रह्मज्ञा इति सम्भणन्ति कृतिनः
ब्रह्मज्ञा इति
भणन्ति कृतिनः ब्रह्मज्ञा इति सम्भणन्ति कृतिनः पञ्चाग्नयोऽपि स्फुटम्
पञ्चाग्नयोऽपि स्फुटम् पञ्चाग्नयोऽपि स्फुटम्.
So in the previous class, I was discussing at length the Shankara Bhashya of the first mantra of the third Valli. So this verse just we read, Dehesmin Paramam Nabhaha, tries to expand on the first mantra of the third Valli of Kathopanishad. So this is a very important mantra which is often quoted by various Pandits of Vedanta as well as exponents of Vedanta. Katam pibantau sukritasya loke guham pravishtau parame pararthe chhaya tapo brahmavido vadanti panchagnayo ye chatrina chiketa. So since I explained in the previous class in detail the commentary of Bhagavad Pada, so we will straight away get into this interpretation of this verse as has been expounded by Ramaraya. So Ramaraya says, Dehesmin paramam nabhah parapadam. In fact, I was mentioning to you in the previous class, which of course happened almost 10 days before, right? So this previous class that the word para has several meanings. And in this verse itself, he has used in 2-3 meanings. Here in the first instance when you find Parapadam here refers to Parasya Padam Parapadam Brahmanaha Sthanam. So the word Para refers to the Supreme Being here. Parasya Padam. Padam also has various meanings. Tell me one or two. Word. So Suptingantam Padam. So this is the Vyakarana's definition. Vyakarana people define it as Suptingantam Padam. So that is word. A word which ends with sup or thing, verb or noun. So that is how they define. But here Padam actually means Sthanam. Padam, Sthanam. Padam, Sthanam. Padam is also used to refer to 1/4. 1/4 of a verse. So, Prathame, Pade, Pade, both are used. See, Yafpadam Padameva va. There is a famous verse. Padameva va means 1/4 or simply word Padam Padam. So they are also used that way. Very good. Tam Vrindaraka Vrindavandita Padam. There also sthanam. It is referred to as an abstract entity in the Leelavati first verse. Vrindaraka Vrindaihi Vanditam Yat Padam. Padam means sthanam, that particular entity. So abstract way of presenting. In fact, this Parapadam seems to be influenced by, there is an interesting verse in Manusmriti. So there he uses the word Param Padam. I'll just tell you the verse. Evam yas sarva bhuteshu, repeat.
Evam yas
Sarva bhuteshu, evam yas sarva bhuteshu, pasyatyatmanamatmana, 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 sasarvasamatamethya, 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 brahmabhyeti param padam, brahmabhyeti param padam, brahmabhyeti param padam. Param padam brahma abhyeti. This is a very important verse conceptually. The one who has developed a certain attitude by which he can see the same Atma dwelling in there. So saha, so that person, yes sarva bhuteshu pashyati atmanam atmana sasarva samatam yetya. So sasarva samatam yetya brahma bhyeti param padam. Padam means thama. Now he is using in the same sense. Okay. Parapadam parasya brahmanaha sthana. Which is parapadam? He says, Dehesmin paramam nabhaha. In this sharira itself. So in this sharira, asmin dehe, paramam nabhaha. Supreme space. The supreme space is basically buddhi. Dehesmin paramam nabhaha parapadam buddhim. Explicitly is buddhim pravishya sthitau. This pravishya sthitau means, so as if two people have entered, two Chaitanya. After all, buddhi is some inner element. But there is a Chaitanya which we are recognizing. Aham, aham, aham vidya bhavana. That bhavana arises out of the presence of Chaitanya. And this Chaitanya, he is trying to metaphorically say, is of two varieties. Okay. Dehesmin paramam nabhav parapadam buddhim pravishya sthitau gudhau dvau purushau. There are two purushas here. Okay. Dvau purushau parasparaparau. This is another interesting usage. Parasparaparau. How do you understand this word? In fact, if you look at this paraspara para, para, only three paras. The word paraspara itself is actually formed of para. Paraspara. See, when you want to say vinimaya or vyatihara, so when you want to do this vyatihara, so then you use para, and there is a yes which will come, okay, in the place of sup, that yes will come, and then you will have paraspara. Okay. I'm also reminded of a beautiful verse. There is a beautiful verse using the word paraspara. Paraspara tapassampat.
Paraspara tapassampat.
Paraspara tapassampat phalayita parasparau.
फलायित परस्परौ
फलायित परस्परौ प्रपञ्चमाता पितरौ पितरौ प्रपञ्चमाता पितरौ प्राञ्चौ जायापतिस्तु महा प्राञ्चौ जायापतिस्तु महा प्राञ्चौ जायापतिस्तु महा. A very beautiful verse. This is composed by none other than the famous Appaya Dikshita. Right at the beginning of Kolayananda, in order to give you a flavor of the work. So this is the second verse. Paraspara. First verse is basically invocation to Ganapati. The second verse is Mata Pitarau Prapancha Mata Pitarau. Basically Parvati Parameshwaram. Kalidasa says Vagarthaviva Samprikta. Here he says Paraspara Tapassam Padphalayita Parasparau. This is far more beautiful from the viewpoint of literature. See, one can give a lot of explanation for this. This is a Vyangya. Paraspara Tapassam Padphalayita Parasparau. What does it mean? Paraspara Tapassampat. Parameshwara did penance to get Parvati. And Parvati does penance to get Parameshwara. And those two people are the fruits of the tapas of each other. Understand? Paraspara tapassam padphalayita parasparau prapanchamata pitarau. Phalayita. Phalayita parasparau. Phalayita. As if they have turned into the fruit. See, the tapas itself has turned into the fruit. Anyway, tapas phala is basically ananda. You understand? Tapas phala, normally for people like us, tapas phala is not ananda, anananda. But actually it is ananda. See, paraspara tapassam padphala ita parasparau prapanchamata pitarau pranchau jayapatistu maha. That is how he describes. Now we have paraspara parau. Here, this parashabda, the third parashabda in this paraspara parau, okay, it means shatru. Para means actually, of course, see, in shatru we have virodha. Understand? So this karya karana bhava, they always, so they use to refer to both. You will find in many places. So paraspara tapassam padphalayita parasparau. So that paraspara here he uses this paraspara. Which paraspara? Between the two Brahman that is being described here. In the Buddhi Guha, there are two Purushau. So these two Purushau are of completely different nature. So if one comes, the other will go. You understand? So, see. So that is how this parau should be understood. Okay? So paras gudhau dvau purushau paraspara parau chaya prakasha viva. So that is how he explains. So chaya prakasha viva. One is like chaya, other is like prakasha. Chaya prakasha viva. So if you have shade, you don't have sunlight. If you have sunlight, you don't have shade. Okay? Chaya prakasha viva. Correct. Mutually exclusive. Ekastatra phalam kritasya madhuram bhunte parah pashyati. Here the paraha, this paraha means another fellow. Neither shatru, he is just anyaha. See, tatastha. Okay? Para means supreme. Para means so virodha, shatru. Para means here anyaha. Okay? Parah pashyati ekastatra phalam kritasya madhuram bhunte. So ekaha, one fellow. Phalam bhunte. Phalam means swakrita karmana phalam. the effect of one's own actions. This fellow experiences. Ekastatra kritasya, ekastatra phalam kritasya, madhuram bhunte. This madhuram bhunte sweetly enjoys. This is just this is just a visheshana. Okay, madhuram bhunte parah pashyati. So the other fellow simply watches. Okay, sakshi bhutva. Brahmajna iti sambhananti kritinah panchagnayopi sphutam. This the last part you have to understand. Parah pashyati iti brahmajnaah sambhananti. Sambhananti means samyak bhananti. They state so. Okay, in clear terms. Iti sambhananti. Kritinaha is a qualifier to panchagnayaha. Kritinaha panchagnayaha api sphutam sambhananti. So they also say so clearly. Which means you can basically classify people into two categories. One is karminaha, so the other is jnaninaha. Okay? So this karminaha as well as jnaninaha, both of them agree to this. Both of them clearly state this. So karminaha, what kind of karma? I mean, you can go on further classifying. But those who are engaged with karma and those who have transcended the karma. So both people, they say so clearly. Now, this word panchagnayaha was a little intriguing to me. No. This Panchagni is not that familiar today. We know only 3 Agnis. All of us know only one Agni. But those who know some Shastra and follow some prescription which is given in Shastra, do Agnihotra and so on, they know 3 Agnis. Okay? So those who actually practice Agnihotra even today, so they maintain one Agni, and that Agni which is maintained is called Garhapatya Agni. Okay? Garhapatya in the sense of that Agni is the Grihapati. Okay? Garhapatya Agni. So there is another Agni which is called Dakshina Agni, and there is another Agni which is called Ahavaniya Agni. Okay? So Ahavaniya, Dakshina, Garhapatya. So this is called Agnitrayam, Tretagni. Okay, this Agnitrayam is even now well known. Depending upon where you place and what you do, Agni is one. So where it is placed and what you do in that, it is given different name. Okay, so this is how you have to understand. Agni placed in 3 places, it is differently called. Okay? But then, what are the 2 more Agnis? What are the 2 more Agnis? So it is stated that the 2 more Agnis are called Sabhya and Avasatya. Okay? Sabhya and Avasatya. These are the 2 other Agnis which have been listed in the scriptures. Sabhya, we generally understand. In fact, in Sanskrit, the way to describe an activity which is unacceptable is asabhya. So we say asabhya purushaha means uncultured fellow, untrained. He does not know how to conduct himself. So that basically comes from the word sabha. Sabha is an assembly where you should know how to conduct yourself. Asamskrita purushaha asabhyaha is what generally we say. One who is not trained how to conduct himself in occasion. It's called asabhya. It can be in one-to-one dialogue, it can be in a samuha, whatever. But here we have the word sabhya. Then the other word also seems to be somewhat interesting. I have not seen, this is my own conjecture. Avasatyaha. Okay? Avasatyaha. So this may have to do with something which has to see. Avasaha is a place where you create for someone to stay. Okay? So avasatyaha is something related to that. See, this could be physical, I'm not denying, but this could also be taken in a metaphorical sense. In fact, if you see the Nachiketa episode itself, so in the beginning, so Yama apologizes, right? Nachiketas tribhet sandhim trikarmakrat sarad. It is not that. See, he says basically, since you have stayed here for 3 days, okay, so you will just burn. You understand? So all the sukrita may get burnt. So if you do not treat atithi devo bhava, okay, if you do not know, then this will be burnt. So the sabhya, also in that sense, I mean, this may be burnt. Your reputation may be burnt if you do not conduct properly. So this is, I mean, from the word itself one can get, but we don't know. In today's practice, it might have been there. We don't know actually today. So even the traditional people, they have no idea. Okay, and in fact, there is another verse which I found in one of the Puranas, where this name is listed, but with one difference. With one difference, I find the name that is listed here. This is in Garuda Purana. It gives a little more metaphorical description of how this Agni can be visualized in the Purusha form itself. The verse goes like this. Udare garhapatyagnihi madhyadeshe tu dakshinaha. He is just describing. Udare garhapatyagnihi madhyadeshe tu dakshinaha asya ahavanognischa. Okay, asya ahavanognischa sabhyah parvacha murdhani. This is how it is stated. Sabhyaha, the same name, but then we find Parva is another name for Avasatya. Sabhyah Parvacha Murdhani. This has to be, Murdhani means above the head. So here he is describing, right? It moves from this place to this place above. Udare, Madhye, Asye, and then Murdhani. Okay? So the two are sort of described to be in the head or above head, something like that. Then it is said, Yaf panchagni niman veda ahita gnissa uchyate. This is how it is stated. Yaf panchagni iman veda. Okay? Yaf panchagni niman veda ahita gnissa uchyate. So we usually use the word ahitagni to refer to someone who has undertaken this pledge to preserve this Agni and do ahuti on a daily basis. Okay, he is called as ahitagni. So that which has been taken. Now this is said that you can see, in fact we say sometimes when people go, see, from one place to the other place, it may be possible that you will not be able to perform. Both of you go. Okay? So then you may not be able to create that Yagasala. You do some minimal things like Sandhyavandanam and so on, but you may not be able to do Agnihotra. In such case, you will say that you take the fire inside. So it is in this sense, I mean, this kind of a description that we find here. See, Udare. So this is how this is described. Udare garhapatyagni madhyade sudakshinaha asyaha vaniyo gnish asye. So this is given the special position, ahavaniya. Even if you do this rituals, you will find that even in Agnihotra, which is considered to be minimum ritual. I mean, if you look at Shankara Bhashya, you will say Agnihotra adi karma. Adi means this is the basic karma. That is how he just starts with. Agnihotra adi karma yahana karoti. So this Agnihotra, so there he is saying that Agnihotra ritual is described as Asyam. Asyam means Mukha. Why is that given that place? After all, Mukha is very, very important. Right? So, Mukha. So, this Ahavaniya is the place where you do the Pradhana Ahuti. Even in Agnihotra, if you just look into. So, this Agnihotra ritual will have 10 Ahutis. Of them, the first offering will be made in Ahavaniya. So you will basically store in Garhapadya, then take the Agni, place in all the 3 places, and then so it is basically maintained. See, so we'll have cow dung and then they will be maintained. So you just lift and then transfer and then do the Vardhana. So then you do the Ahuti first in Ahavaniya, and then you move on to the other 2, and then there it will be 4 plus 4. But since the Pradhana Ahuti and the first Ahuti is done in Ahavaniya, that is considered most important. So that is why this Asyam. So that basically takes in the Pradhana Ahuti. Understand? So certain other Gauna Ahuti will be done in other places. Okay, so that is how this description seems to be. Asya Havaniya Ahavano Nischa Sabhyah Parva Chamurdhani. This is how it is described. Now, here in this verse, see, Panchagnayo Yechatrina Chiketa. That is how the mantra states. Now, Ramaraya says, see, Panchagnayo Pisphutam. There, Trinachiketaha and Panchagnayaha. There, Trinachiketa means those who have performed this Nachiketa Agni Chayanam 3 times. Okay. So this Panchagnayaha as well as Trinachiketaha. So all of them, they describe this to be so. Now let us read this commentary. Nanu sa purushaha kim ishvaraha kim va jivaha iti shankayam tavat jiveshvarayoho lakshanamaha dehe iti. So this is something which is very interesting connection that he brings in. So in the previous Valli, so he was just saying, so those who do not live a disciplined life and so on and so forth, they may not get this, right? So Dushkarma, so all that he said. Now he is saying, Nanu Saha Purushaha, that Purusha, Kim Ishvaraha Kim Va Jivaha iti Shankayam. Who is this one who is being described here? Jiveshvarayoho Lakshanamaha. He is just saying Jiveshvarayoho Lakshanamaha. This is how he nicely brings it. See this Aham Brahmasmi, you see. This is the ultimate message of Vedanta. Right? Aham Brahmasmi. This Aham is of the nature of Brahman. But I have mistaken the Aham to be a different person. Now both are there, he said. So one fellow who experiences all the pains and pleasures, so this is also a Chaitanya. As an experiencer of various pains and pleasures, this entity is described as Jiva. And the moment you realize even for a fraction of second or a few seconds. So whenever you are consciously able to see that this person to be different from all the experiences that you have undergone as a jiva, then you see a certain second entity, Sakshi. Forget all this, you yourself will be able to see. So Sukhi, Dukhi. Sukhi, Dukhi. So both are very different. As experience, are you Sukhi or are you Dukhi? So you are neither. You are Sakshi. You are able to see yourself as Sukhi. You are able to see yourself as Dukhi. What a silly person I have been. So you realize. So that silly person is seen by you. So as a silly person, you are a jiva. As a supreme being who is able to witness that, you are Ishvara. So that is what he is trying to say. Ritam pibantu. Where is it? You experience in your buddhi, and therefore it is a metaphorical description. Okay? Buddhi is an achetana padartha, but there is a certain chaitanyam which seems to be residing, and you are able to see the two different, completely different nature, and therefore chaya tapau. Okay? So in the mantra we have the word chaya tapau. Here he is using chaya prakasha. Okay? Ritam pibantau. So in the last class I was explaining how can you have the word pibantau for both. So this is Chhatri Nyaya. So ritam pibantau sukrutasya loke guham pravishhtau parame pararthe. In fact, this parartha reminds me. I don't know if I told you. This parartha, so this shatam varsha of Brahma is described as para. See, dvitiye parardhe means it is the first 51st year of that Brahma entity. That is also a para. So this 100 years of Brahma is also described by the term para. So now you have fourth meaning for para. So parardha. So parardha. So that is how that parardha. So that ardha I told you in the previous class is used in the sense of sthana. So that is what he has referred to as parapadam. Okay. Now let us read the commentary of this verse. Asmin dehe vartamanamiti shesha. So you have to just supply, they are residing. Okay, you can see the two different entities of completely different nature. Parapadam parasya brahmanaha padam sthanam. Parasya brahmanaha padam sthanam buddhim. In fact, there is an interesting definition of the word pada given in a special literature called Sahitya Darpana. Suptingantam padam is generally we say. So there is another way of saying. You repeat that. Varnaf padam prayogarhau. Varnaf padam prayogarha. You just say Varnaf padam prayogarha.
Varnaf padam prayogarha.
You just say split, there is a problem. One more letter will come. See, ananvitaikartha bodhakaha. Ananvitaikartha bodhakaha.
Ananvitaikartha bodhakaha.
See, varnaha ananvita ekartha bodhakaha padam. This is another way of, you understand? Essentially it is varnaha. Okay. In general varnaha, it can be a one varna also. Then prayogarha, so that should be there. You cannot say dam kapa. Okay. So that will not work. Simply varna samuha will not work. See? Prayogarha. So Ananvita means in the isolated form you will call it as padam. You understand? Ekartha bodhakaha. Anyway, so that padam, I mean, so that is another way. Parapadam parasya brahmanaha padam sthanam buddhim buddhi shabda vachyam, and that is described as paramam nabhaha. Okay, so nabhaha is space. So paramakasham pravishya chaya prakasha viva. Chaya prakasha is just explaining it as atapa anatapau iva. Okay, so atapa ana, yeah. Atapa anatapau, correct. Yeah, it should be pau, not po. Correct. Yeah, it should be anatapau iva. Okay. Paraspara parau. Paraspara parau. Okay. Anyonya vilakshanau. Okay. Anyonya vilakshanau. That para is vilakshana. Completely different. Gudhau. Dvau purushau sthitau. This is a usage, no? This is a para, you are asking. So here he is using in the sense of vilakshana. This is an interesting alankara. Just get that verse. Here it is said. Param. Paraha jyamalinganti. So there is an alankara. See, so he says yada, when the sharaha yada jyamalinganti, tada paraha jyamalinganti. You understand? Jya means the Prithvi. So when the arrows just cling to the string, the enemies cling to the ground. So Jama Alingan Jama. Sharaha Paraschate. Jama. Right. Akramatishyoktischet yugapat karyakarane. Akramatishyoktischet yugapat karyakarane. Jyam sharascha paraschate. So 3 padas have come, right? Akramatishyoktischet yugapat karyakarane. Yugapat karyakarane. Jama Jam sharascha paraschate. Kramatishyoktischet yugapat karyakarane. Yugapat karyakarane. Anyway, let me see. Later it may come. So Jam sharascha paraschate. So the para is enemy. That's why. Okay. So that para is there. In the sense of enemy, here it is in the sense of vilakshana. Gudhau dvau purushau sthitau tatra tayoho purushayoho ekaha jivaha. One is jivaha, who is anubhokta. Kritasya karmanaha phalam sukham dukkham va madhuram svadu yatha tatha. So this is one way of understanding. Svadu yatha tatha. So this is one way. Athava madhuram phalamiti va bhunte. So you can either take madhuram as a qualifier to bhunte, or you can take it as qualifier to phalam. Okay, kriya visheshanam or simply visheshanam. Phala visheshanam. Madhuram phalamiti va bhunte anubhavati. Paraha anyaha ishvaraha ityarthaha. What does he do? Pashyati कर्मफलम् अनश्नन्नन्यः अभिचाकशीति अनश्नन्. Okay? So कर्मफलम् अनश्नन् साक्षात् पश्यति. You understand? See, whether you experience sukha or dukkha, it is a karma phala. So now you are able to witness both the states. So as an experiencer of sukha or dukkha, and this person who is the witness. Okay? So that is how you have to understand the other purusha. Anashnan sakshat pashyati buddhi pravishtaha bhokta. In fact, he is nicely saying buddhi pravishtaha bhokta jivaha buddhi pravishtaha sakshi ishvaraha iti bhavaha. Okay? So sakshi ishvaraha iti bhavaha. Iti means buddhi pravishtaha means, so it is a metaphorical description that they have entered the buddhi. Enter means they are evident there. If they are evident, they should be present there. It is a metaphorical way of saying. Iti brahmajnaha brahmavidaha sambhananti samyak vadanti. So we have a phrase, no? Putting your toes into the other shoes, no? It is not physically doing. Understand? So this is how we have to understand. These are all metaphorical descriptions. Samyak vadanti. Kritinaha karminaha. See, karminaha panchagnayaha abhishabdat. See, so in order to capture that Trinachiketaha, he is using the word api. See, panchagnayaha abhishabdat. Karminaha panchagnayaha. Where in fact you have to put a danda. Okay? Abhishabdat, this is a separate thing. Abhishabdat nachiketascha sphutam sambhananti. Okay? So nachiketascha sphutam sambhananti. Tasmat astikaihi natra samshayah kartavyah iti bhavaha. So this is a important statement that he is making towards the end, which is not there in the verse. Why is it this is being stated? Atra samshayaha na kartavyaha. Atra samshayaha means? You know one purusha anyway. Jiva purusha you know. But it is that if you analyze, you will see that you are neither dukhi nor sukhi, but you are only sakshi. So in that aspect, so you should not doubt. Okay? Satra samshayaha, this is one thing. In fact, you are the other one. Okay? So natra samshayah kartavyaha. You should not doubt this. Okay? So you try to practice and experience, get the benefit of that. Okay. Next verse. Yatsetuh kritinam nrinam paramam.
Yatsetuh kritinam nrinam paramam.
Yatsetuh kritinam nrinam paramam. Dukhabdhi santarane. Dukhabdhi santarane. Dukhabdhi santarane. Yat samsara samudratarana hridam. Yat samsara samudratarana hridam. Yat samsara samudratarana hridam. Bhuyah parancha bhayam. Bhuyah parancha bhayam. Bhuyah parancha bhayam. Brahmi tadvividham tadaksharamiha.
Brahmaitadvividham tadaksharamiha. Brahmaitadvividham tadaksharamiha.
Jnatum dribhishakyate. Jnatum dribhishakyate. Jnatum dribhishakyate. Chetun chapyaparam na tatra vidhina. Chetun chapyaparam na tatra vidhina. चेतुं चाप्यपरं न तत्र विहिना नोचिकेतात्मकम् नोचिकेतात्मकम् नोचिकेतात्मकम्. In fact, as I was reading this verse, so I got the third quarter of the other verse. Alinganti samam deva jam sharascha paraschate. He is basically describing, see, the power of the king. Alinganti samam deva jam sharascha paraschate. This is called akramati shayokti. After all, only when you shoot the arrow will that fellow die. He is saying simultaneously is happening.
See,
As the bow, okay, takes the arrow, okay, and that fellow takes the ground. See, alinganti samam. So karya karana bhava, okay, so that it is so fast you want to describe. So alinganti samam deva, hey deva. So it is a praise of the valor of the king. Alinganti samam deva jam sharascha paraschate. The word ja refers to the string of the bow. It also refers to the ground. Okay, now yatsetuh kritinam rinam paramam. This verse is describing the content of the second mantra. The second mantra in the third valli. So the second mantra goes like this: Yasseturi jananam aksharam brahma yatparam abhayam titirshatam param nachiketam shakemahi. Yasseturi jananam aksharam brahma yatparam abhayam titirshatam param nachiketam shakemahi. The previous verse, so there were description of two different kinds of purushas. Two different kinds of purushas. Now, this mantra basically talks of Aksharam Brahma. Aksharam Brahma Yat Param. So there are two different kinds of Brahman that is being talked about in the various Shastras. One they call Param Brahma, the other they call Aparam Brahma. So how do you classify them? I will discuss this at greater length in the next class perhaps. But we will very quickly see the content of this mantra. So this mantra says, Yaha setuhu ijananam. Ijananam is a very interesting usage. Okay. So ijanaha. So ijanaha. How do you understand? Bhagavad Pada here writes in his commentary, Ijananam, Yajamananam, Karminam. See, so there is a certain suffix which is called kanach. Okay, so this kanach is applied, and then there will be a dvitva, and you will have it occurs in various other places, but in what context will you use this? There is a sutra also which I will take up in the next class. But here we just need to understand it is used in the sense of tachilya. So tachilye dyotye. Okay. So here tachilya means bent upon that. Understand? Tadeva sheelam. Okay. So tachilaha. So tachilye dyotye we use this. So here, yassetuhu ijananam. Ijananam means those who are committed to Vedic rituals. Okay. That is why Yajamananam. Yajamana is actually a word which is referring to the one who engages in doing yaga. It can be various types. Yaseturijānānām. So Setuhu means Seturiva Setu. So what does Setu do? Setu makes us cross something. Okay. Similarly, here if you are able to cross the samsara sagara, it can be of a variety of ways. You can actually, even if you are engaged in bhajana, it need not be necessarily the kind of fire and then you make ahuti in that. So it can be even meditating. It can be a tapascharya of any sort. So then also, I mean, ijam. So Meera Bhai, medicine. So bhakti, in that yajna, okay, bhakti yajna, she offered herself. Okay. Yaseturijānānām karminām. So karmi, that is why the general term that is used. Okay. So one who engages in kind of action. So one who is committed to that action. Yaseturijānānām karminām. So it is described as Setu because dukkha santaranarthatvat, because it enables you to cross. Dukkha santaranarthatvat. You can keep doing bhajanam, you can keep doing stotram. Okay? Dukkha santaranam. In fact, in those days, okay, generally the housewife, this is what I have heard, okay, I have seen also, they don't, even if the husband shouts, just keep quiet, okay, they will try to cool them down by not shouting back. Sometimes if it is becoming too difficult, so they may go inside and then they may do stotras. But my mother said, I have not seen, my mother's grandmother, she has said that she is never found arguing with husband. Even if he comes and shouts, she will immediately go to kitchen and then she will start chanting some stotra loudly over. Okay, so this is a way of ijana. This is a kind of yajna by which dukkha santarana, that is what ultimately, right? So yes, Setu dukkha santarana arthatva. That stotra chanting is Setu. Setu for overcome. You just say Bhagavane. That is what was advised for Dhruva, right? That is what was advised for Dhruva. You cannot change the nature of your father, you just go. Okay, do that. Anyway, so that is what Yaseturijānānām yajamanānām karminām dukkha santaranārthatvat. Then he says, Nachiketaha agnihi tam. That fire, that particular ritual, okay. So Nachiketa agni chayanam. So Nachiketa agnihi tam vayam jnatum chetuncha shakemahi shaktavantaha. Yaseturijānānām aksharam. So he just started with the first line. And then Nachiketam shakemahi. So this Nachiketa agni chayanam itself helps you to reach various kinds of lokas, positions. So where you can experience only happiness, dukkha santaranarthatvat. Okay, those lokas are meant. Other day we were seeing, no? Tridasha. So Tridasha is basically 3 stages. Sorry, Tridasha. So it's Tritiyaha Dasha. Tritiya Dasha. So Tritiya Dasha is only Yavana. They don't have Balyam, they don't have Vardhakyam, they don't have Jara and so on. So Amara Nirjara Devas Tridashaha. Tridashaha means 3rd Dasha. So when you go to those lokas, so it is just a question of spending some time there and then returning back. Okay, similarly, any Agni Chayana, I mean there are various lokas which are being described. Now, so Shakemahi Shaktavantaha. Jnatum means knowing, And then chetum means in order to perform that. Jnatum chetuncha shakemahi shaktavantaha. Okay. Now, kincha yacha abhayam, the second aspect. Okay. Abhayam titirshatam param. Okay, so that is a different description. Okay. Abhayam bhayashunyam samsarasya param titirshatam. So this is locally, temporarily crossing the samsara, and that is permanently crossing the samsara. Okay. So that is the other aspect he is saying. Abhayam. Even if you go to that loka, it is for some time, then you have to return back. Okay, it is not complete abhayam. Abhayam temporarily. Okay. Abhayam samsarasya param titirshatam taritum ichhatam brahmavidam yat param ashrayam aksharam atmakhyam brahma taccha jnatum shakemahi. That is another way of approach. So now one is described as aparam brahma, the other is described as param brahma. So we can see both of them. Okay. Parapare brahmani. So parapare brahmani karmi brahmavidashraye. Okay. Karmi brahmavidashraye veditavye iti vakyartha. Okay. The overall vakyartha means the overall meaning that is being conveyed here is there are two kinds of Brahma. So there is a detailed discussion which has been provided by Bhagavad Pada himself in one of the sutras. Very interesting discussion. One of the longest discussion that you find in Brahma Sutra also. There is an interesting discussion which he presents, which I will try to summarize in the next class. So there are two kinds of Brahma. Parapare Brahmani Karma Brahmavidashraye Veditavye iti vakyartha Paryoreva hyupanyasah kritaha Ritam pibantau iti. So this is what has been stated. Okay. So in this discussion. So I think we will stop here. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahavirjam Karavavahi Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidyashavahi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarve Sukhina Santu Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om